Hello and welcome. I am the LastHPHero, and you have found your way to Neon Lights Roleplay. Ooh, ooh, oh, that tastes good. Neon Lights Roleplay. I like that. I like that. Oh, this is gonna be good. Over the course of the next handful of hours, we are going to play a Kids on Bikes one shot through a wonderful little setting, the fabulous world of Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. Now, if you don't know Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, well, I think there's a bang, and then there it is. Yeah. I encourage you to check it out. Trevor Roberts has put together a absolutely fantastic setting, full of lore, full of pictures, full of gore in a good way, and we're going to play around in. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Check them out. Check the Reddit out. Great times. At least that is the hope. As for us, we do want to begin with a rather important content warning. You see, Kids on Bikes, at least the what we're going to be playing tonight, is going to feature a large number of exaggerated bodily functions, massive scale life forms, both those that may be within a body and those without a body. And well, throughout, our players who are kids on bikes will be in constant danger. Yeah, and I do have a series of pictures and gifs, which some viewers may find unsettling. In fact, I probably ought to hit a button. Oh, I love that the smiley face is just hanging out up there. I still don't know which of you wrote that on there. There we go.
Wasn't
Just
me. Definitely not the pink one.
just for example, if you may run into a isn't shared, show everyone.
Oh,
So you may run into creatures like this. So, just keep that in mind that you never know what you might run into in and around a mystery flesh pit. And yeah, I just want to make sure that shows up there. But yes, so important content warning. Do there may be some unsettling things, um, bug things, body things. Feel free to step away. We will still be here for the next several hours. Barring any complications there, kick back, relax. Please stay on the marked trails at all times, leaving no trace. Take out with you all that you take in, and above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. Uh, but we need to take a minute, not just to introduce you to this fascinating location, but also to introduce you to these absolutely amazing people. And see, that is exactly what we're going to do next. So we're going to work our way around. Starting below me, I will say hello to everyone, and players. I would like you to share your name, your character's first name, and their one-ish word title, the title that we're using. And also, what is their favorite retro toy or cartoon? Now, when I say retro, we are playing in an ambiguous time setting, somewhere around the 80s or 90s. It is that 30 years ago feeling that actually was longer ago than that, but don't think about it too hard. Um, that's where we're playing. So that's our setting. So as we work our way around, that is what each of you to share. I believe that's enough time for everyone. So, beginning just below me, just one swig of gummy berry juice, and he'll be bouncing off the walls for hours. It's Robotic Gentleman.
Hi guys, I'm Robotic Gentleman. I will be playing, as he put it, our group animal geek, Johnny. He is one of the older guys in the group, but his favorite thing of all time is probably the cartoon Voltron. I'm pretty sure that existed back then. How old it looks, I'd be shocked if it was 90s. So that's my final answer.
Sounds great. Perfect. Welcome, Johnny. Oh, and by the way, how old are you going to be this evening?
I will be 16.
16. Back in the day. Continuing down and around. Earth, fire, wind, water, heart. And now you know why you've always thought her hair was that damn cool. It's Oserix Franco.
Hi, I'm Osiris Franco, and tonight I'm gonna be playing Callie, the Meek. I'm 10 years old. My favorite show is She-Ra, Princess of Power, because Princess Odora raises her magic swords and becomes She-Ra, and she's the most powerful human in the universe, and that's pretty cool, because then she can defeat the powerful evil horde and save Eternia.
That's great. You know, it's wonderful to have role models like that, and I think you're gonna grow up just fine. And you're continuing over and around. Pull his lever, and he will spin around, making all kinds of animal sounds. It's Bright Dystopia. Well,
Hi, everybody. My name is Bright. You can find me on all sorts of social media, Bright Dystopia. And I'll be playing Miles. He's 11. I don't really have a favorite cartoon, but I was really into all that when I was, in my younger years, my formative 8, 9, 10 years.
That's good. You know, those were back in the day. I mean,
Yeah,
back
they
in
were
the day.
they were OGs.
You know, it's great that you're growing up this fast. Continuing around in the bottom right corner of your screen, when life feels unfair and you're lost out there, maybe you just can't get out of your chair. What you need is a Care Bear Stare from Chrissy Crits.
That's all I had. Hey guys, I'm Chrissy. I will be playing Ida the Weird. She is 11, and I would say her favorite retro toy or game or content or whatever would be probably creepy crawlers. Only she would probably bake them like they were actually candy, and you would probably see her chewing on them, similar to how you would probably chew on like a Barbie shoe or something when you were a kid. She does that though with creepy crawlers, so that's all.
I'm sure that doesn't bode poorly for just whatever you find in the flesh pit. Just leave it on the ground. I think that's what we should say there. And last but not least, in the upper right section of your screen, when you got to stand tall because it's come down to the wire, you don't want Yo Joe. They ain't got shit on Corn Dog McGraw.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Corndog. I will be playing Danny the Icky, who really enjoyed the show Zoom, but especially the episodes that got weird. And she is currently sitting there reading a Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh man, I devoured Goosebumps.
Oh, hell yeah. Goosebumps was the shit. Yep.
All right. As for me, I am the last hit point hero, and I didn't even think of my own answer because I'd never think of my own answer to these questions. I try and wiggle my way out of them. You know what? I loved messing around with Rubik's cubes. I can never figure them out, but I was perfectly fine twisting those things indefinitely. So we'll go with Rubik's cubes there. That is all right. Just checking that no notes were for me. As for our setting tonight, allow me to set the stage a bit and pull back on this. We are going to start this game of Kids on Bikes, setting the scene a bit. You see, the story is not mine to tell, the story is the player's to tell, and so we have to build this story together, and that's exactly what we're going to do for the first short section of this game, is either in character or through answers, we'll be working our way through the journey. You see, Mystery Fleshpit National Park, to give you a little bit of a background, it's located southeast of Odessa, Texas. There is a barren stretch of scrubland, and in it is one of the most disturbing natural formations ever discovered. You see, a crew of oil surveyors were drilling, trying to find test wells, when the substance that came out of their pipes was not oil, but red, a deep red. comparable only to blood. Terrified by their discovery, the crew abandoned their oil well, their equipment, and they scattered. Rumors spread, and it wasn't long before someone found a way to turn a buck. Now, decades after this first discovery, this geobiological phenomenon attracts scientists and tourists from around the country. Anodyne Deep Earth Mining purchased the land, subsequently exposing vast sections of the formation in their research efforts. Always looking to turn a buck, the company created tourism friendly infrastructure. Thanks to a compromise with the federal government necessary to remain open, the National Science Foundation joined the research efforts, and Mystery Flesh Pit National Park was officially formed. Your family, and who that is what we'll determine, and handful of friends await the experience of a lifetime, as the road trip you're currently on's ultimate destination is this unmatchable eldritch wonder. Relaxation in the therapeutic amniotic thermal springs, pictures beside the historic ritual grounds, miles of hiking on both carved and natural trails, perhaps even opportunities to befriend local macrobiological fauna and flora. Oh, this was going to be fun. As for all of you, it's Friday after school, and you are ready for the long weekend, and you have been excited for the long weekend because this weekend is the trip. You're off to Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. As you clear out of school, you have all that you need packed for the long weekend. Your parents have provided what's necessary as you climb into the vehicle with your dear friend and or parents and or siblings to get ready for the journey. You see, Mystery Flesh Pit National Park is a little bit of a drive away, and a fleshy, Mystery Flesh Pit enthusiast like yourself equates it to a trip to the Holy Land of sorts. You know at least some of your friends feel the same, and others are just happy to get out of your middle of nowhere hometown for the weekend. You're ready for the trip, you're packed, you climb into the car, and that is where we will begin. A car pulls up, and the first question that I have as we shape all this is for all of you to decide together what vehicle do Mr. and Mrs. Eaton, your chaperones for the weekend, and at least one of your all's parents, drive.
If it's not Bronco, I'm gonna rage.
That
Sorry,
has to be.
I was gonna say a Bronco or a Woody, like a
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like a station wagon with the wood panels. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm here for the Bronco. I already said it. I screamed it.
All right.
Strong Bronco feelings. This is a consensus question. Is everyone happy with Bronco?
Yes.
Considering
All right,
I grew up in one and did many road trips in one, absolutely yes.
Grew up in one. Sarah was raised in a Bronco.
Literally yes.
Little known. Now,
Rob, it's hard to hear you. I'm just going to let you know. I've seen your green box, but I cannot hear you.
I gotta hold up the mic. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
as
Yeah, I
you
told you, undisclosed location. So
as you open the back door of the Bronco, in the car seat is baby Abigail. Only 1 year old, she of course had to come along for the trip. Now the question is, Mr. and Mrs. Eaton and baby Abigail, there's somebody here's family. So, who is the child of the Eatons, sibling of Abigail, and who are friends?
you guys want to roll for it?
Let's go.
Fine, I'm down.
Oh,
Do it.
there's as many of you as want can be siblings.
Listen, I know that's like this
No
weird
one.
standoff. 100%. I'm Callie Eaton.
Callie Eaton, Chrissy, I saw you raise your hand. Do you want to be Isa Eaton?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll be an Isaac Eaton. Sarah, do you want to be like twins since we're both 11?
Is eating what?
Oh,
Oh,
somebody
no.
did not plan ahead when they gave their child Isa as a nickname when their last name is Eaton.
Whoops.
Yeah, no, I'm 10, so maybe I'm a cousin. Like, that way we're still related. Like, I'm on this vacation with my aunt and uncle.
Well, you could go ahead and be the kiddo. I'll be the cousin. No big deal.
Perfect.
Sure.
All right, perfect. If you guys wouldn't mind filling that in on our shared document. The others are friends. Are any of the friends coming along related to each other? Or are you other three just friends of the group?
I think if I'm right, I think the dynamic's too weird to be related. I think everybody else is of separate families.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
Next door neighbor. There you go.
Next door neighbor. Got it. Perfect. Wonderful. Now, as we address the rest of these questions, I'll be asking you them one at a time. If you do not want to answer the question, you can pass, and I will send it to the next person, and we'll just come around, and you'll get another chance for a question as we work our way. So if you don't want to answer, just pass, and it'll move on. We will begin with Robotic. You are playing Johnny. Johnny, the question that I have for you is, as you all pile into this Bronco and start heading toward Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, is baby Abigail behaving or not?
I'm gonna say baby Abigail. She's just hanging out with me. I don't mind little kids, and she's probably just poking me. I don't care. Not bothering me at all.
Pokes you harder. Turns to whoever's on the other side of her. Abigail, behaving well, getting along with Johnny. Good. Moving around our overlay a little bit. Callie, how does your character plan on passing the time as the hours crawl by?
Just coloring in my Carrier's coloring book because I got my own coloring pencils for my birthday. And it's really hard to keep them sharp because Abigail tries to chew on them a lot, and I don't like that. But I'm mostly doing that now.
Going through the Care Bears, fantastic. That's wonderful. We will keep going around over to Bright, and this is part of me learning everyone's characters' names. Miles. Oh wait, no, this is for everyone. So you'll get yours on your own in a moment. Each of you, Mystery Flesh Pit National Park is a famous locale. At least one of you is known as a fleshy. You are a Mystery Flesh Pit fan. And the question is, for each of you, a yes or no, is your character a fleshy or not? And if not, are they excited about this or coming ironically?
1000% is a fleshy. Miles is probably coming here to find pamphlets for FleshCon 2023.
Perfect. Planning way ahead. That's excellent. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just absolutely not. Callie is not. This was Mom and Dad's idea. She asked if she could just stay home, please, and was told no, that she needed to go. So she is here, and she's trying to do her best to be excited because her mom told her that there was some like cool stuff, but she's skeptical.
Believe it. The other three, and chat, you can chime in too, chat, if you're a fleshy or not. Are you into the mystery flesh pit or no?
Is definitely a fleshy. For
Eye to
sure.
the
Fleshy for life.
Fleshy. And Johnny, fleshy or no? I don't know if he froze or can't hear me.
I apologize. I realized that was Johnny. Yes, Johnny is a huge it's my brother's name. Johnny's a huge fleshy fan. Um, Matter of fact, I want to say that as soon as he found out that the film was going, he begged them incessantly for like at least a month, him and his parents, so that he could go too.
Perfect.
So
You know, Mr. Eaton turns around. Johnny, I'm so glad you came along with us, Johnny. I mean, I knew you were excited. Are you looking forward to the trip?
man, I gave up Christmas for this trip. Okay, I'm not getting anything this year. Just the promise that I could go here. Yes, I'm excited.
Oh, well, that's good. We're looking forward to a good time. We're glad you're here. I know you're a little bit older than the other kids, but you know it's gonna be great. I mean, it's gonna be fantastic. Mrs. Eaton turns around. Callie, dear, how you doing?
I think this is gonna be a very good time.
Oh,
I know you said it
Callie.
was, but Mom, I don't think it's gonna be a very good time. I think it's gonna be close.
Callie, everything is well protected. You don't have to step in any of the goo. Don't worry. The trails are marked.
Were you gonna stay on the entire time?
Uh, yes, we are. You can't go off trail. That's dangerous. Now, kids, I want you all to listen very carefully. The Mystery Flesh Pit is a large place. It's not fully explored, and I want you to make sure you listen to Mr. Eaton and I so that you don't get lost. Is that understood?
Yes, Mrs. Eated.
I am currently rolling a booger that I just pulled out of my nose in my fingers. Sure thing. And then I flick the booger as hard as I can at Callie.
It will absolutely stick on my little coloring book, right, like where I was about to color, and I'll like kind of at it and turn and look at you and go, "It's okay, Mom says that sometimes little accidents just make the art more meaningful." She'll start coloring over it like into the paper.
All right, everyone, it's a few more hours. We'll stop for dinner soon, and that will be great. All right? Just keep going, Chase. You continue down the road, and you do have to stop for dinner. And this time, right, this is for you to answer. Where is it that you all stop for dinner? Now, there's not time for anywhere nice. This is a fast food and run type situation.
We stop at La Hacienda Jacaranda. Is a mariachi and seafood place that is designed very much like every one of those like bad like Bayside Mexican restaurants where the walls are like yellow, pink, green, orange, and like the wait staff wears like really offensive sombreros as they come to take your order, and like they're all like dejected and indisposed of like wanting to be there, and they're like, "Welcome to La Hacienda, goes. Can I take your order? Ole."
Miles, are you sure this is where you want to eat?
My mom said that I can't eat I'm sorry, white people food while she's out of the country. She says that she went back to Colombia to re-establish her roots with her 14 cousins and sisters and brothers, and so I need to work on my culture while I'm here. But if you don't want to eat here, that's fine with me. I won't tell her. If
No,
go to,
we
like,
will
Chuck E.
support.
Cheese.
Gracias for including us in this journey you're on.
Donada. Donada.
Donata to you too. Everyone sits down. You have a nice, quick meal. I mean, It's serious. It's roadside Mexican American food that came out about the time you ordered it, and you were ate and out of there in just a few minutes.
Miles tells the wait staff that it's what'd you say Mr. Eaton's name was? It's Mr. Eaton's birthday.
Okay.
And they end up getting like a large cake with sparklers and a 25-minute mariachi oration that keeps us there longer.
Feliz cumpleañosito.
Sure.
There's the one excited staff member, and the rest just don't care. It's beautiful. He just sits there, looking at each of you in turn, to see who looks the most guilty.
I'm going to say Johnny's no longer at the table because he wrote a 5 on grit, so he is in the bathroom.
I accept, and Johnny is preoccupied and misses the sparkler cake. The evening continues. You pile back into this Bronco. You keep going cross-country across that middle of nowhere of Texas, that place in between places, where there's not really anything behind you, not really anything in front of you, just the stretch of road, dodging armadillos, whatever else, 80s, 90s Texas road trips are like. And the sun begins to set. Everyone excited to be with your friends, excited to be on the trip. It starts to pull down and pull back a little bit. And Danny, what do you do as you start to wind down as the sun sets?
As the sun starts setting, I feel that this is my opportunity to pull out some bean burritos that I definitely had just put right into my bag while we were at the restaurant. And since it's finally getting dark, I fold my head under the seat so that way the parents and adults in this vehicle cannot see me. And I grab the burrito by the bottom and just go-gurt it up into my jowls. And then with the shell, I am going to slap one shell on the one side of the car seat and the other one to the other side of the car seat, holding this baby in, seeing how long it takes them to notice that there are tortillas on their baby.
Honey, did you hear that? I think Abigail might have messed her diaper. I'm sure it's fine. It's just you're just tired. We'll just keep going. We'll keep going. Night settles
Huff
in.
and beans. Huff and beans is what I'm doing.
Night settles in, and each of you start to drift off to sleep in turn. And sorry, I looked at the overlay wrong. I didn't mean to skip over you, Chrissy. Night, the stars light up the sky, and there is this moment as you look out the window where the entire expanse of the wide open Texas stars spread out, and there is this vastness, this mystery, the occasional blink of lights in the distance. Ida, you hurt someone in the car in the last year or two. What happened?
I mean, I get called a lot of names and I get kind of bullied every once in a while, but sometimes you just need to redirect that anger at somebody more innocent than you. So as she was in the car with her aunt and uncle, as they were turning the corner onto Main Street, she opened the car door and tossed her cousin Callie out.
All right. How was this resolved?
Well, this is the first trip she's been allowed to go on. And it's the first time she's been allowed to probably be around Callie as well. And she would probably be like very quiet, and writing in a little notebook in a little diary because her child therapist has her writing down her feelings.
And
Pictures
Callie.
and things, you know.
Yeah. Callie, do you feel things have been resolved well, or are you a little nervous?
Probably a
You
little
sh-
nervous.
You should ask me that because yes, I'm feeling a little nervous about I'm feeling nervous about this. Mom says that Ida just needs a friend, but I don't know how to be her friend because she eats the gummy worms that you make from TV, and I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Well, you don't eat them, you just chew on them. You just chew, well, sometimes you swallow them, but mostly you just chew on them. But it doesn't matter, it's fine, everything's fine.
But I'm gonna try. Very nervous.
Thank you for trying.
And because it's not fair that you just get the only serious question, somebody in the car starts to do something annoying, just as everyone else is starting to fall asleep. Who is doing something annoying, and what is it?
I got you, fam. Been waiting for this moment. As everybody's getting ready to fall asleep, Miles will climb over the back seat into like the middle kid seat and like poke Ida awake. Excuse me. We're like, Ida. Ida. Ida.
What?
You remember the paella we had at La Hacienda?
Yeah.
Does this still smell like you? And he'll turn around and like bare ass over the seat, just right next to her head, and thinks it's the funniest fucking thing. And we'll wait like 20 minutes before he does it to like the next person with like a different question with the same punchline.
I would like to say that when it gets to me, I've already heard this joke now as it comes around. And the second he slides in next to me, I just let go of the most pungent, silent but deadly toot. All these beans. And I just kind of let it, like, you know those farts you can taste?
No. No.
It's
They leave like
that.
a film on your tongue.
Yeah, you're like,
No.
or like if you ever have to get out of the shower to go poop and it just kind of musters and just it's becoming a part of your skin at this point as you slide in next to me and I just yeah, like just ready to go.
He starts retching and is like sticking his head out the window, but because he was like prepared to like rip one, as he's like every time he dry heaves, he like toots a little bit and like fills the car with like a worse stench. And
From the front seat, Chase, open the window. It wasn't me. There are children in the car.
Callie is full dead asleep. She's been living with a 1-year-old for the last year. This does not faze her in the slightest.
All of you, in turn, drop off to fall asleep for the rest of the trip, knowing that the next morning you'll be arriving at your destination. Is there anything any of you want to do before the scene closes in the car and we wake up the next day?
In an attempt to act older than she is, and knowing that Johnny is also a super fan of the Flesh Pit as much as she is, she will hand him a small notebook and go, I've been doing a lot of research about the pit, and I wrote this, and I thought maybe you would like it. And she's going to hand it, and it is a small notebook of fan fiction.
Oh, this is awesome. I was like, do you want to see my science notes on the region's night crawlers? I personally hope to discover a new one, but that may require us to go a bit off the trail if you're cool to go, and you're not a baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty cool. I love bugs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. And she'll
Alright.
take the notes and have no idea what it says.
And I
She's
will
not
read.
in-
He will read the fan fiction and be greatly confused because from what he knew about some of those creatures, he's like, they don't act like this. Like, what's going on? Like,
Exactly.
why is a bear in love with a rabbit? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's wildly fantastic, and it makes no sense.
The sun rises over the Permian Basin. That incessant Texas heat hasn't set in just yet, but you know it's coming. Immediately, what's clear as you begin getting closer to your destination and each of you start to arise is, well, it's the manner of your awakening that draws your attention as from the front seat of the car, Mr. Eaton just starts belting out, "It's a beautiful morning, it's a beautiful day to run and jump and hop and skip and play and play and play." Stop that. You said wake him up. Good morning, kids. How did everyone sleep?
Good, Dad.
Why don't you just buy a rooster?
Well, we couldn't fit one in the car. In any event, we're almost there. It looks like there might be a little bit of a line, though. And as you start pulling up, you notice a few things. First, you notice that around the area, the plant life is still green. It's still verdant. Permian Basin's a beautiful place. But it begins to brown, and it begins to crisp. And as you get closer and closer, it becomes clearer and clearer that, well, something is different in this part of Texas. You see the occasional low hill, you see plant life, and above all else, you see a brown sign with white letters that say MFP National Park. You pull in, and as Mr. Eaton turns, he comes to a stop, as there is a line of cars just outside of the national park. Mrs. Eaton turns around. I'm sorry, kids, we have to get a picture at the sign. It just wouldn't be a trip to Mystery Flesh Pit to the national park unless we all got a picture next to the sign. Now, it might be 7 a.m, but there's a lot of people here already. We're gonna wait here in the car. Why don't all of you just get out and do a little exploring? Don't go far. Chase will whistle for you when it's time. Just go out and look around a little bit. Have a little fun. Stretch your legs.
Miles will hop out, and immediately after their attention is off the kids, he's going to go sprinting to the head of the line to go see what the holdup is.
Okay, Miles takes off toward the front. You hear Mrs. Eaton, "Don't go too far." What about the rest of you?
Johnny will get out too, and after he finally breathes some fresh air because the car smells like butt. It doesn't leave easily. It permeates in the seats, man. It's in the seats.
It's locked in now.
See?
It's locked in.
It's
Fabric cushions.
You guys have
floors.
seasoned the car. You've seasoned the car.
As soon as you sit back down, there's going to be another puff revitalizing it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Like you lowered the blue book value.
Feel this right now in my soul.
Lower the blue book value of every Bronco in
I
America.
don't like it. Help. Help. We made this.
I would assume Johnny gets told to go retrieve our
Johnny, if you would just please keep him nearby. His mother told us he can be a little bit erratic.
no problem, ma'am, and he runs off after Miles.
Yep. The other three of you?
Callie's in there for.
Oh, go for it. Not me. Not it.
Not it.
Chrissy, you have to. We're the
Only
last
two of
one.
you.
There was 3 of us. Was it here?
Go, Chrissy, go.
So Ida will turn to her aunt and uncle and say, maybe he has ADHD. My doctor says that I have clinical, I don't know. It's something with anger, and she'll just walk away and just follow.
Is she gonna be okay, dear? Yes, your sister said it's fine. Just keep a close eye. It'll be okay. Okay.
While they're distracted, I'm gonna sneak around to the other side of the Bronco and take the, what is it, gas cap? There we go, found it. I'm gonna just take the gas cap off and hide it inside the back of the Bronco underneath, like in the tire well that just kind of hangs out back there. Just in case, because like I kind of want to live and die here. So if there's a way I can make that happen, I'm gonna try.
Callie was probably the last to leave the vehicle because she does not want to be here, and she's a little resentful that she has to get out. And she's going to be clutching a small My Little Pony figurine whose tail is like perfectly brushed and there's like a little bow in it. She's just going to be clinging to that as she watches Danny do this thing. And Danny, why'd you do that?
Do what?
Oh, it's the last time that there was one time that Dad drove away from the gas station with that, and then Mom like was really mad.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it? Oh, okay.
It's still with the car. It's still with the car. Why are you worried?
It's gonna shrink away and just go, okay. Kind of nervously like stand near the car, not interested in exploring at all.
Don't worry, Kelly. Don't worry. It'll be cool. I promise. It's science.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's science. Okay.
As the three of you head toward the sign, the other two hanging out by the car, you start making your way up this long line of cars. It's not too far before you can see in the distance, everyone has the exact same idea. Everyone is taking a picture next to the National Flesh Pit, or Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. The National Flesh Pit, that's on the other side of the country. Here you go. So there is the sign that everyone is taking a picture next to. It's your exact expected national park sign. There's people standing on it, taking pictures. As you start heading that way, you get a few hundred feet away from the car, and Miles, you hear a sound around a low hill not too far away. It's kind of a
Okay. Yeah, I'm gathering like gasping flap kind of sound, right?
yeah, getting there. Yep.
Okay. In which direction? By where?
Away from the road. So there's a number of low hills nearby, and it's over close to one of them.
I look in the direction that it's coming from, and then I glance back at the sign to see what direction it's coming from. Like what's over there that might be. I have my hopes up that it's something gross and something fucked and something weird.
Go ahead and give me a brains roll. Let's see if you can sort out what that might be.
All right. Oh, this is gonna be good.
It's not super loud. You seem it, but it definitely caught your attention.
It's an 8.
An 8? It sounds like gasping, definitely. It sounds a little almost like an animal, maybe. It doesn't seem to be necessarily in pain or anything, just there's something animalistic about the sound. Just a
All right. Miles is he's gonna glance at the sign to see where it's going, and then he's gonna look for the sound. And he's gonna try to get closer to it.
Okay. The two of you following behind Miles see him look off away from the road and kind of start veering in that direction.
We haven't even been here 10 minutes and one of us is about to get eaten.
Yeah.
Who's with me?
Ida.
All right, Ida. I just look at Ida. How old are you? I forgot. I'm sorry.
11.
Yep. I'm gonna say Ida. Um, stay close to me, and if you see anything with fangs, just run straight back.
When you say stay close to me, she's going to nod enthusiastically. And when you say things with fangs, she's going to inhale very quickly, like she's a little bit nervous.
And with that, we'll try to catch up to Miles.
All right. Miles, you would be the first around, so they start jogging your way. You turn a corner and see something that you really didn't expect to see. As you turn, there is a Labrador sized jackrabbit. And there are these brittle horns coming out of the top of its head, and it's like hacking or something. Its head is toward the ground. And then it looks your way, and I need you to make a grit check to see how you react to turning the corner to seeing this thing.
5.
5. I don't remember if 5's enough. 5 is not. You come to a screeching halt, turn, and start running away from it as fast as you can. You two see Miles start turning the corner around this hill, come to a sudden halt, and turn around and come running towards you with some kind of a look on his face. Miles, what is that look on your face as you're running toward them?
It's abject terror. As he sprints back to the car, he's gonna scream back, "Go back! It's undead!" He's gonna run as fast as he can back to the car, grabbing like things off the floor that he sees along the way to like throw back. So like there's a dropped wallet, he like snatches it and throws it behind him, runs by, there's like a loose stone from like the cobblestones that are by the bench, he picks it up and like hucks it, and is just sprinting while sending like Hail Marys into the air behind him.
There are people waiting in line in the car next to you, just look, what is wrong with that kid? I don't know how some kids, they're just not as well behaved as others. Fast judgment being poured out as you go sprinting back. Ida, John?
I was just gonna say, from our perspective, since you're a little kid, you're not very fast. So just see the kid run across a field, just throw things. It's very. And did he? I'm gonna look at Ida and say, did he say undead?
Her eyes are huge, and she's gonna nod very quickly. Yeah, he did.
Well, last time I checked the brochure, it didn't have any undead near the entrance, so I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
You with me?
Yeah. And she'll just be very excited to be near you.
So we're going to go around the corner to see what he saw.
Okay. Miles, you go shooting past them. They go walking past you.
He'll like bump into you as he's heading by, and like he'll like hit, and he's already kind of like a spitty, snotty kind of mess because he's like been sprinting, and he like bumps into you and like puts his hands on your shoulders and like wipes his nose in your sleeve as he like continues to run towards the car, just gasping.
You two keep walking forward from the direction that he came to his sudden stop. You turn around a low hill, and you also see this Labrador-sized creature, but it's kind of turned to face the direction where Miles was, and it's making more of a chuffing sound at you. I need a snap grit from both of you. A 4 and a 2. Both of you have the exact same reaction Miles does. You come to a sudden stop, you turn on your heels, and you run like hell back to the car. More judgmental people waiting in line are looking. What is wrong with those kids? I don't know. They should just wait in the car with the rest of their families. I don't know what they're doing. You can feel the judgment oozing off everyone.
Ida would probably stop short in front of one of those families, go completely pale white, and just vomit. And then just kind of like, and keep walking, running, whichever.
You make it all the way back to the car. All of you get back. Mrs. Eaton turns around. Well, that was a quick trip. I don't think you two even left. Is everything okay?
As Danny and Callie have been standing here, Callie definitely offered Danny some of her licorice rope. I think that I saw one time there was a kid at a party and he sneezed when he had one of these in his mouth and it came out his nose, but it's still kind of in his mouth. I bet you could do that if you wanted to.
Let me try. I'm going to grab the licorice rope, and having done weird shit like this before, I'm going to put my head between my legs, suck it in my mouth, and then blow as hard as I can out my nose once I feel it tickle my uvula. Is that what that is? Vulva?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, not that one.
Definitely
First
not
one.
the
You guys,
second one.
I wasn't allowed to take health classes.
The back of your thrusy. Yeah.
I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on 80% of the time.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and give me a grit check as you try and force a piece of licorice through your own nose.
Sure, in our nose, right?
What if I told you that I am doing the best? Because I happen to have a d20 in grit, and I happen to roll a natural 20.
That explodes.
Heck yeah.
Well, it would explode, except it doesn't take any more. You have succeeded
This
with
is all I needed to roll well on tonight.
with such panache. I mean, this seems like a practiced maneuver. You look up,
Yes.
and Callie, you see 2 red strings. One out the nose, one out the mouth.
As Miles is like hauling ass this way, I'm just gonna like floss the inside of my head and just stare. I just keep making that sound as Miles gets there, as I'm like cleaning my brain.
Totally disregarding this, he like climbs up the tire, grabs the door handle, grabs like the ski rack on top of the car, and like hoists himself up there and like lays flat on his back. At this point, he's holding in one hand a lighter, in the crook of his elbow like a pink stuffed elephant, and he's fishing in his pocket for his inhaler, and when he finds it, he puts it in his mouth and he just uses it like an iron lung, like 15 puffs, just and it's just
Miles, honey, not that much.
it eventually gets to the point where he's like, when he breathes out, it's like smoke, just kind of like as he's filled his lungs with as much albuterol as he can get into his system.
What happens if he takes too much of that? I don't know, dear. I wasn't in charge of the medications. You were. Well, somebody has to know what happens. Let's just keep an eye on him. It'll be fine. The rest of you arrive at the car. Everyone climbs in, and a few minutes later, you make your way to the sign itself of Mystery Flush Pit National Park. Mr. and Mrs. Eaton line you all up. Mr. Eaton lifts up the camera. On 3, say Velveeta. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Oh, why do they never want to do that? Perfect. Get back in. Get back in. There might be a line when we get up to the park, but that's fine. That's fine. Mr. Eaton twirls his fingers over his head, giving the universal dad signal to get back into the Bronco, so that you can finish the short drive to the visitors center. It isn't too much longer before the heat haze of Texas comes in, and through the ripples in the distance, you see the buildings around Mystery Flesh Pit National Park come into view. There's the support building off to one side. There's the main visitor center. You have a little gift shop tucked away, and then you have the Marriott itself, where Mr. Eaton pulls in. He pulls up underneath that overhang that every hotel has. I'll go in and I'll check us in. He turns to Johnny. Johnny, if you wouldn't mind just keeping an eye on the crew here. April and I are gonna head up, change the baby, check into the hotel, and buy our tickets for the gondola ride. We want to get down there early. Digging in his wallet, Mr. Eaton produces 2 $5 bills. And he hands them in your direction, Johnny. Listen, why don't you take everyone to the cafe, get some breakfast, grab me a granola bar, an apple, the biggest coffee they have, and don't forget a handful of salt packets. All that sodium is not good for you, Chase. You know you shouldn't put... Why do you even salt your coffee? Don't... People think that's weird. April, just let me drink my coffee, all right? It's my...
Oh,
It's a joy. I enjoy... You know... We're not talking about this now. Get her it's bagels with cream cheese, too. And just meet us at the visitor center in a few minutes.
I'm going to write this down in my notebook because I am not going to remember this.
Sounds good.
I already forgotten. Johnny will turn to the team and say, "Okay, I believe after this morning's incident, we need to re-tackle this situation with a proper breakfast. So let's carry on to the cafeteria, grab some oatmeal, and regroup." And he'll lead the way. And I just want to say above table, did it really feed like 5 people with $10? Back
in retro time of ambiguous 80s and 90s? Yes.
You can't
Oh,
feed
yeah,
a
you
single
could.
person with $10
Not anymore.
now.
This is back when.
Old timey money. Was an apple a penny?
It probably,
8
maybe a
piece
nickel.
nuggets were $1.
8-piece nuggets for $1.
Fucking
Wow.
$4.50
Feed a-
today.
Feed a
Stupid.
family of 4 on $15. Yep.
Mhm.
Bless.
So
Damn.
you walk into the hotel itself. All these buildings are interconnected. You look up and there are signs directing in different ways. Going to the north, there is a sign that says Historic Ritual Grounds and Support Plant. And going to the south, there's a sign that says Cafe, Overlook, and Cafe and Overlook.
Which one looks the emptiest?
Oh, everything's busy. The other thing you notice as you come into this hotel, there are people everywhere. There was kind of this odd odor as you walked into the hotel, but then when you got in and there's just this mass of people, it almost went away. As long as you're in this hotel, it's busy, it's loud, there's people everywhere, the bellhops are taking bags, people are milling about, and you just have 2 hallways to go down one way or the other. Or back outside, whichever you like.
Do I have you said, what was left and right again?
The cafe and the overlook are one direction, and the historic ritual grounds and the support plant are the other.
We can head towards the cafe. You guys following?
Callie is absolutely following, but every time she sees a sign, she is wrinkling her nose as it goes into more detail about what there is, and like anytime anybody looks at her, she kind of turns away, like that gross fascination, and like, oh, and she follows behind.
As you start heading down the connected hall, you see through a wall of glass that's in between you and the flesh pit itself, you get your first view of Mystery Flesh Pit. Stretching about 1,000 feet across is what looks like an open strip mine. There are pipes that lead down the rock walls into the basin itself, and as you kind of get closer to peek over, it's hard to see what's close, but you can see the fleshy, pinkish hue of something that's most certainly not dirt down below. Periodically, these pipes on the sides will flush liquids across its surface. And you can see in the distance there are even trucks that are driving down, stopping periodically to hose off the area. As you make your way along, Callie, you see an eye out in the distance, just sitting on the surface of the flesh pit.
What color is it?
It's hard to tell from here, but it must be massive to be able to see it. In fact, as a truck drives by and stops, a few figures hop out, and you get the idea that this thing is probably 20 feet across.
Callie will shudder a little bit, and turn and look at Miles and go, I spy with my little eye something, an eye. Okay. She's just gonna turn and run away when Miles doesn't say anything.
Wow. What? Anyway. I look out at what she was staring at and try to make sense of whatever the hell that was.
You start looking around and you see, a massive eye in the distance on the surface of the flesh pit. And as you're watching, it closes and the mound it creates on the surface disappears. The people that got out of the truck nearby kind of throw their hands up and climb back in.
No way. He looks around for like the exit and like kind of just like shoves the elephant into Callie's hand. Here, I got it for the room. Go mention it. And I leave this place and go right outside to see if I can get like an outdoors look.
Sure.
You said there was an overhang?
So the overlook is, in fact, not too far away. There are doors that open up. It's a fairly crowded place, just like everything else here at Mystery Flesh Pit. But yeah, the door's not too far away. You can make it over there. It's really easy. You make it as soon as you open the doors, you are hit with the most foul odor you have ever smelled in your life. It is a combination of sickly bodily gases worse than anything you did in the Bronco. It smells like sunburn that is like, do you have aloe on that? Because I can smell that your flesh is cooked. Levels of sunburn. And then there's the murmur of people, half of which are just trying to force back the, it's beautiful. I'm glad we brought the kids. Glad your mom stayed home.
As I'm leaving, just because I'm sure I won't be just left to go like sprint, I'll like call over my shoulder and I'll like yell across the restaurant, continental breakfast
A walkway.
area.
It's kind of like a walkway, yeah.
I'll yell over. I'll be like, "Oh, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pinch a Cleveland," and I'm, head outside to get to the over the what did you call it? The over what?
Look.
the overlook. Do I see anybody around here that's got like binoculars they're not paying attention to or anything like that?
Yeah, you can see. So in this game, flight would kind of be the comparable dexterity thing. So yeah, you see there's someone has some binoculars just on a bag next to them, but
Okay.
there's none just sitting unattended.
Grabbing the lighter that I found earlier, I'll like head over to like a trash can if there's like a receptacle and grab anything paper. Like if somebody
Sure.
bought food and grabbed like the little wax paper thing, and I'll like light it and then just like, you know how you like grab paper, you like let it go and it kind of swoops. Just like
Mhm.
let it slide under their bench, and while they're like freaking out about that thing, I want to try to snag the binoculars to get a look at where that eye was.
All right, go ahead and give me a flight.
How? You said I get a +1 to flights?
You get a +1 to flight because you're a kid.
6.
6. 6 is fairly good. They're quite distracted. This little piece of flaming paper showed up, and they're stamping it out, and you're able to grab a pair of binoculars. Sure, you have stolen binoculars.
All right. I like immediately run back to like the overlook and like get up onto like the concrete slab and the railing, and I like hook my arms over and look through the binoculars and start scanning around for like anything that looks similar to what I saw.
Yeah, you start scanning. You can see where the truck was. As you start looking, you see what kind of looks like the outline of an ear almost. It's just kind of a little bump and maybe some ridges of cartilage. And down below, and this is actually what quite a few people are looking at. You look straight down below the overlook, and there is about 450 feet down. There is a truck with a number of people milling about. They seem to be investigating these. I don't know. From here, they look almost like they're holes of some kind, just very small geysers. It's hard to tell, but they're milling about and they're pulling a hose from one of the trucks, and they have attached it to the top of one of these holes. And a couple people seem to be writing. And as you look through your binoculars and look down, you can see there's one at the truck, right where the hose connects, watching a gauge, a meter, and all of a sudden they start flailing their arms. And you can't really hear from this distance, but they start flailing frantically. And as you pan the binoculars over, after another moment, there's this absolute ripping as whatever hose they had connected gets thrown into the air. They all dive for cover. Everyone on the overlook just turns their heads. Oh,
Um,
what are the rest of you doing as Miles goes out on the overlook?
Can we hear fart sounds inside?
That is what gets your attention.
I'm running straight for the fart. And as I do so, I'm gonna quickly open a mason jar that I had brought in my backpack.
Perfect.
Just get ready.
The rest of you.
Running with it.
Johnny refuses to go out there. He sees him as long as he's in eyesight. Like, yeah, no. I dealt with this on the way here.
Yeah. Callie has Miles' yellow stuffed elephant and her little My Little Pony tucked under her other arm, and she's standing behind Johnny watching as Danny like takes off with this jar and goes, I really hope she doesn't open that in the car later.
I'll break it first.
Ida is definitely walking outside, but not as excitedly because she wants to look as cool as possible for Johnny, and will very casually open a fanny pack she has attached to her waist, and you will see a small Polaroid camera come out. One of the instant ones where you have to shake it to get the
heck yeah.
photo to, the good old classics. So she'll walk out there. I'll just grab a photo, for your notes and for later for when I write about it too. And then she'll just like scurry outside.
You walk out, you get a nice picture. You are hit by that same odor. Danny, even you are hit by an odor that you were not well equipped for in all of your odiferous experiences. The overlook starts to just clear out. And before long, it's just the three of you kind of left there as the rest of the people go back into the safety of the enclosed hallway to look through the windows.
So when we're standing out there, you said it's like this was a little ways away, or it was immediately down from where we were standing?
Yep, down beneath where you're standing. About 250 feet down toward the bottom of the flesh pit.
Ida's going to look around and look at Miles and
gasping on the floor, laughing.
Yeah.
Holding a fresh pair of binoculars in his hand and is just squealing. It's like villain laugh, high pitch.
And she will try to find, like, say, a cup or a container of French fries or something, whatever is around that she can find.
All sorts of stuff is abandoned. You find a cup easily.
Yeah, and she'll say, Miles, try to drop this into where that made that sound.
He'll try to contain himself, but he like his eyes go hungry. Like he snatches the cup and like runs back up to the banister and like pulls out like this from the banister and is like ass down, almost touching the concrete again. And he yanks himself upward and like hucks it as hard as he can straight up into the air. And you watch it like arc into the sky. And he's trying to aim for that Grand Canyosi downstairs.
Yeah.
Well, while you could definitely make it in the main target, finding that special spot is a little bit harder. So why don't you roll a d20 for me, just as a d20, and we'll
roll a what now? I'm sorry.
Just a d20 is fine. Just a straight d20.
Oh, okay.
What about a gay d20?
Natural.
Natural one. That's fine. I just wanted to know. You chuck this cup over the side. It goes flipping through the air, and it starts falling down and down and down. And you can see it bounce off the heads of one of the workers that were down there. And in the distance, it's hard to make out for sure, but they like look up and they're definitely pointing at you, and you can just barely hear, "Hey! Don't litter!"
I best.
Do you want to try with something else?
Yeah, can we get something heavier? Is there a soda machine? Oh, do you have any money?
She'll root around in her fanny pack and find like $1 single. And hand it over.
Snatch it out of her hand and he'll go sprinting for like the soda machine.
Okay.
And $1 in a soda machine in this era.
25 cents.
Get like 40 sodas for that much money.
There was a gas station that still had them for 15 cents in the 90s close to where I live.
Oh.
Holy shit. We get every soda can we can buy for $1.
When you get there, it doesn't have a bill. It can't take any bills.
I've got Capri Sun!
He's like upset, and then upon hearing Capri Sun, he stops wadding up the one and like straightens it out, folds it in half, hands it right back, and goes like running. Are you gonna? What are you gonna do with it?
Throw it
I got an
better.
idea if you wanted to learn it. What you could do with it?
Throw it better. I'm gonna just throw it good. Right? That's what we're doing right now? Are we throwing things?
Yeah. Oh,
Go on, man.
oh. Put the straw in first. It'll like
Ooh, yeah,
glitter
create a
as
little
rainbow.
little trail of
Yeah. Totally.
Well, then one of the workers, if we miss again, one of the workers can drink it. Because then they have the straw, too.
Yeah.
Then it's not littering.
Yeah.
Then it's just providing a beverage.
Drinks for the thirsty. They gotta be thirsty. Did you hear that hot wind that came up?
They're working really hard.
So I'm gonna lob it. Straw stuck in, but straw facing forward. Just because Ida brought up like there may be a worker down there, I want to make sure we try to keep some in this pouch.
Sure.
And I'm gonna Tom Brady the fuck out of this Capri Sun.
Sounds great. And you chuck a Capri Sun. Johnny, you're standing in the hallway, and you've now seen the children you're watching throw two things into the mystery flesh pit. So as this Capri Sun goes arcing through, before I tell you what happens to that, what are those of you still in the hall going to do?
Are people seeing these kids chuck things over that?
They're talking about the kids left unsupervised right now.
Yeah, I'm not going over there. I have started to collect the things on my list from our
You head to the
chaperone.
cafe. Okay, just
Yeah,
leave them?
I have started collecting breakfast.
Okay.
I've got some extra bars for our litter bugs, and who's still with me?
Callie is
Callie
still
is.
with you.
Callie can have whatever she wants,
Okay.
and we are going to sit down and drink orange juice and oatmeal while this is going on.
You get to the cafe, and there is a really dark, short, curly-haired woman who's working it. She said, "Aren't you two just great? You here to get some breakfast? What can I get you for breakfast today?"
I just recite the list and
That's
oatmeal for me.
oh yeah, yes, yeah, that's fantastic. Is this your first trip to the mystery flesh pit?
Oh, absolutely, ma'am.
Oh, and you two excited to be here?
Oh, yes. I tell her again, this
Oh,
cost me my Christmas.
your Christmas. Oh, that's why aren't you excited to be here? You look so scared. Here, you have this on me. And she like knocks a Tic Tac out of a box and holds two Tic Tacs towards you.
Callie will kind of look at Johnny like, I don't know about this one, and she'll take it. Thank you for the stranger candy. I will definitely eat this later. She'll stick it into her pocket.
Those things are great. I love them so much. It's great to see you little ones here to learn. Now, your parents are around here, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're just
Oh,
right back that way.
Oh, good. That's fantastic. Let me just get all this together for you. They start to get that together. And as she does, there is a Capri Sun flying over the top of the edge of Mystery Flesh Pit. There is the glittering of sunlight catching the little bit of juice that is coming out. It is a majestic arc. Now, you can get a lot more distance on a Capri Sun than you can an empty cup. And so as it starts heading down to the bottom, it clears the workers and splashes across the surface of the pit and kind of skids just a little bit. Miles, you try and find it with your binoculars, and this Capri Sun slides and comes to a stop. It's just a little speck down at the bottom of the pit. And after a few moments, something comes out of one of those nearby small orifices. Through the binoculars, Miles, you get a better look. It would be like if a tongue had the proportions of an arm, and it slaps on top of the Capri Sun and pulls it down through an orifice on the surface of the flesh pit.
Oh my god! Oh my god! And Ida's gonna try to snap a photo of that as it's happening.
If she does that, I'm going to stick my hands inside my romper and have my hands come out the bottom of it, and I'm gonna just start screaming and running in a circle while doing that because it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm like trying to practice my parents' thing of like We'll compress your nervous system. We'll give you a hug. But I'm using my overalls to try to do it. Just running, screaming like a mad woman.
Imagine all three of us having just the most ridiculous reactions to this.
It's
Even
just
as soon as Danny does that, because it hasn't been said yet, Miles is going to take this opportunity to grab the loose string of Twizzler from her mouth and pull it through the nose and hurl it over the banister and look through the binoculars because he wants that hand to come back up again.
I think we just missed the fact that Ida tried to take a photo several hundred yards away with a Polaroid camera.
We're doing our best.
Zoom wasn't invented for like another, 30 years?
Kelly's inside, like with her little apple juice box, just like zipping it, watching like in the dead silence as these three kids are just spinning out and just like and like.
Look, Johnny looks over and says, "We're throwing our stuff away in the garbage, just so you know. Like, no choking into the hole."
Okay, I feel pretty good.
They might be kicked out. I don't know.
Seeing that there's some excitement, all the people on the Overlook that were frightened away by the odor come out to try and see what's going on, including a park ranger who has made their way to the Overlook and starts weaving through the crowd toward the three of you, causing issues. You three see the ranger coming your way. What's the plan?
Ida is very quickly going to go, bail! And she's been through this. She knows what it's like to get in trouble. She has been the perpetrator of crime in the past. So she is absolutely going to try to immediately lose this guy and get inside to wherever Johnny and Callie are so that she can pretend like she was not doing the bad thing.
Okay.
The cops see where we are, by the way.
Well, they were definitely coming your way as the crowd saw the excitement. So the park rangers you have a sense that you've drawn some attention.
But to be fair, it's like three kids just being like,
I know.
on an overlook by themselves as they just chuck things over the edge. So they definitely probably know.
One just freaking shot put Capri's son off the edge.
Yeah,
This is
brother.
the 80s, 90s, so I mean, there are lower standards for, keeping an eye on the kids. So you're going to try and run by Ida. So I would like you to give me a flight check as you try and dart past. And combat, so everyone knows this counts as combat, is opposed. So this park ranger is going to try and just grab you as you go running by.
An 8. That is with my +1.
An 8. That exceeds this significantly. Tell me how you slip by this park ranger as they lunge for you.
I would imagine that Ida would just, similar to something she has seen in probably a Looney Tunes cartoon, she would just follow exactly in step with an adult, like step by step. And if you've ever had if you've ever had somebody walk behind you, like immediately just knocking your knees, she's doing that to someone she doesn't know. And then as soon as they notice, she's dodging inside.
Perfect. The other two, what are you doing as the park rangers head your way?
I'm gonna also fucking bail. Yeah, when she said bail, my brain was like, "What? This is where you get in trouble for being gross." And with my hands popping out the bottoms of my shorts, it's just gonna be me running by yelling, "Hands!" And with the adults just like knows in their heart, they're like, "I'm not paid enough for this." That is exactly as I run directly past them, just screaming, "Hands!"
Your hands are in your pants. Hands!
They can come out. You just go down and in, and it comes out. Yeah, you just gotta run. I'll take a better picture of this when we go to break.
So
screaming hands and trying to scare the shit out of these guys.
What I would like to
No
know.
better picture of that.
Okay, so with what you just said, trying to scare the shit out of these, I would like you to do a charm on your way by. 'Cause that is your
Charm?
social. If you don't want to, you can just run from them with flight. Would you rather
No,
just
no.
run from them with flight?
I mean, ideally,
You're
yes.
gonna
I would be
fuck
That's
too
fine.
fast and have them like not giving a fuck. But
That's fine.
oh no,
So,
yeah, just roll,
roll-
this.
roll-
I didn't
just roll
realize you
flight.
could roll on the sheet, so that's great. 11.
11. You absolutely eviscerate this park ranger too. They juked one way to try and get Ida, and you went the other way, and they tried to dive the other way. So tell me how you get away. You just crab run by.
They kind of like they do they do dive, and I like do a little bit of that crab walk, and then I like just kind of giggle a little bit before I fall onto my hands that are inside my shorts and just army crawl under the adults that are like there, but they're like right next to my knees, so it's like this weirdest scurry as Danny makes her way towards the doors, trying to like sneak in. Obviously not unnoticed, but unnoticed by the masses. Just those very close, hearing hands while they go walk around, might be unnerved.
So the park ranger, having had no chance to get either of the two of you, kind of looks over their shoulder and then locks eyes with Miles. And
As
is
the
kind of
chaos
doing
is
that,
going on,
like,
he's gonna use
looking
it, so.
big, trying, take up as much space as possible.
I would like to have done something as I heard the word bail. I just wanted
Sure.
to wait. But
Mhm.
the minute I hear the word bail, I spin around, I see how far they are, and I immediately, like Donkey Kong, clap the juice box in Callie's hand and send all the juice up into her face. And I immediately
Callie's
turn.
not on the overlook.
Yeah, I'm
I
inside
thought
watching.
she came out with-
Callie's inside. You're out. The
no,
three of you
I
were
was
outside.
watching
by
you
yourselves.
outside.
She's
I'm
watching
outside,
from
but I currently
inside.
have no
I thought
juice
she came out
boxes
with
in
her
my
juice
hands.
as like they
no,
had purchased
I'm
everything.
watching from like I just like picked a spot and watched through the big glass doors, like as you guys are silently like I don't hear anything. I just see you screaming as I'm like just drinking my juice.
Yeah, we had no part in this.
Yeah.
Then
Got it. In that case, I guess he's gonna take the lighter, light it, and then just toss it into the trash can. And he's gonna run in the opposite direction from this, and try to like jump the railing parallel to like the overlook, and try
Okay.
to run like away from the resort area.
All right. So, what would we call setting a trash can on fire?
Charm.
Well,
Charming.
charm has to do with kind of manipulating that sort of stuff.
I mean, they can chase me or they can put out the fire, but they can't do both.
I'll let that happen. They are going to look at you, start running. So go ahead and roll charm,
Hot diggity.
and they will roll their grit.
Fuck me. This is my best stat, and I rolled a 3.
A 3. They only rolled a 2.
No!
They rolled a
Amazing.
2 on a d12.
amazing.
I am blessed.
So this park ranger looks towards you, looks toward a trash can that started to burn, and goes to put out the fire as you take off. You're able to get back into the cafe where Callie and Johnny are having breakfast.
I'm gonna say Johnny collected our things, threw it in his backpack, grabbed Callie, and moved to intercept Miles the second we saw him set that on fire. So as he's coming in, I literally have Callie holding one hand, and then my other hand just grabs him by his collar and just pushes him back out into the hallway. And we're just gonna go straight across, hopefully catching the other two on the way, because we are not in there anymore.
You all reconvene with the breakfast materials, and you were told to meet in the visitor center. So, if ducking behind the crowd, trying to get away, The rest of you keep heading along the hall until you enter the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park Visitors Center. As you get there, you take a look, you see the cups and the mugs and the t-shirts and the sweaters and the magnets and the posters and the maps and the people, and right in the middle of all of it, there are informational things, and there are taxidermied creatures that look something like it's like a segmented worm that seems to be about 4 feet long. You see some that look like crabs. You see this amalgamate, which is looks quite a bit like the Labrador-sized horned jackrabbit that you saw outside. All over the place. This is just everything the fleshies among you wanted to see. And standing in the distance, not too far away, are Mr. and Mrs. Eaton. And Mrs. Eaton looks up and says, "Oh, kids, hey, come over here. We've got your tickets for the gantry. Something's going on in the hallway. It was crazy out there. But come over here and get these." She meets up and she hands each of you a paper ticket that says Mystery Flesh Pit National Park Descent Gantry. Admit 1. Each of you get one, pass it around, and Mrs. Eaton goes, "Okay, here in a little bit, they're going to start the trips down into the Mystery Flesh Pit, and we're going to go all the way down to the lower visitor center today. Isn't that exciting?"
Johnny, little panic, gonna say, yeah, can we go right now?
Oh, silly. We'll be leaving here soon. They'll call us in just a minute. So everyone just look around just a little bit, and Mr. Eaton will whistle, and that's when it'll be time. All right. So just read some information, make sure that you're prepared, so that you know what to expect and that you learn something, because it's good to learn.
Miles will keep looking up at Johnny to wait for him to make the excuse, because he's got to have a plan.
Johnny, look, you know what? There's probably all this stuff down there anyway, and I just can't wait, because the view's probably way better up close than it is up here, so far away, and it's so packed.
Yeah, Mom, I'm really excited to see what's in the gross pit. Can we go now?
Oh, honey, I'm so glad that you're getting into this. I told your father that all we had to do is get you here, and you would be so excited. This is fantastic. It's your friends. They're having a good influence on you. This is great. Yeah, you know what? Forget everything up here. Let's just we'll head. We'll see if we can be the first ones down. How's that sound?
That's really good.
What do kids say in the 80s?
That sounds radical, Mom.
There we go. Rad.
Radical.
I still say rad. Are we not supposed to be saying that anymore?
We can say whatever we want.
Fuck yeah.
We're hella retro.
Yeah.
Dog.
So retro.
The group of you start heading that way, and Mrs. Eaton is leading, and you can tell that she's got her head on a swivel. She is definitely looking for Mr. Eaton. And as you get up to to where the descent gantries are loading, there's only a couple people there. They just open up and get ready. One of the first couple gantries come up, and yep, lo and behold, you are the first ones in line to get in the gantry. And as you walk up, Mrs. Eaton goes, where is Chase? He has the baby. Chase, Abigail. Yeah. Kids, you head down. I'll be right behind you. And she goes off to find him, and a attendant there says, "Oh, that saves me a lot of trouble. I was going to ask, one of our volunteers is heading down, and there's only 6 people per gantry. We really can't overfill them. And I was going to ask if someone would stay. So, yeah, Teddy, you can still come down." And just before we go to break, coming towards you is an incredibly old man. The kind of old man that makes you think they celebrated when dirt was invented. makes their way walking towards you.
That's great. I like going down with the youngins. I can teach them a thing or two. This'll be a good trip. This'll be a good trip down the gantry. Oh, this'll be great.
And as you walk toward the gantry, the door opens. The 5 of you hand over your tickets. Teddy comes in with you. You sit down and
Don't worry, kids. This'll be fun.
there's a creak. The door closes, and what feels like a enclosed gondola starts to swing. And as it exits the visitor center with all of you on board, that is where we are going to take a short break. So hang out with us. Foxy is nearby. I probably should have done. Oh, sorry. I don't. Goodbye. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Take us out, Foxy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us and sticking around for our brief break. I do encourage you to, follow that mystery flesh pit hashtag on Twitter, because you never know what you might find if you were to, just put in hashtag mystery flesh pit. I'm pretty sure that was in there. Let me double check real quick, because I really don't want to. Also, we just decided there will be a part 2 to this. So if you're having a good time, there will be more of a good time coming in the future. So thank you for joining us. We are going to get back into our journey into the flesh pit as our group of litterers and park ranger jukers find their way into one of the descent gantries. Now, these gondolas are free swinging, enclosed, super fancy Swiss ski resort, flying in every James Bond, Jason Bourne movie type thing. You're hovering by cables over the top of Mystery Flesh Pit itself, and as you do, you're getting the best look at Mystery Flesh Pit that you have seen yet. It stretches 1,000 feet across. The full impact of seeing it really hasn't settled in until just now. And as you are in this gondola next to the oldest park ranger you have ever seen in your life, he looks over towards you, pulls a bag of Twizzlers out of his pocket, starts eating them one at a time, and goes,
Hey, everybody, I'm Teddy. This is the Mystery Flesh Pit, and I want to thank you all for coming out. It's good to see the young ones learning. Wow, you are quite the group, aren't you? So, whose idea was it to come, huh?
he starts looking at you each in turn.
Somebody?
It was it was mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And you're having a good time then?
Oh, great time. I gave up Christmas to be here.
Did you? That's
Yeah.
quite the sacrifice. I mean,
I mean,
I've been here from the very beginning.
were you the first ranger?
Well, I mean, I've always volunteered at the national parks, and when Mystery Flesh Pit opened up, I ran my wrinkly butt down here to join the crew.
How long has Mystery Flesh been open?
A couple decades.
Oh.
But
So you would know everything about the park.
well, I know quite a bit. Yeah. Did you all see the? Did any of you see the Wandering Eye? That's a special bit.
I saw that.
Oh,
It was like this.
yeah. It did. I heard that it made a showing today, but we don't get to see it every day. That's awful lucky of you.
Lucky?
They say it's good fortune to see the Wandering Eye. Now, did it wink at you?
sure
Did-
did.
Did it blink and then open back up, or did it just close once? This is important, youngin'. Which one was it? One of them's good fortune, and the other one's lots of bad luck.
It closed once.
Oh. Well, I'm sure it's good this time. Well,
Wait, what color is the eye? We wanted to know that earlier.
oh, well, this last time we saw it, I haven't got the color report this time, but the time before it was a green. Kind of a shade of green-brown, kind of a hazelish color.
Wait, the eye changes color?
Oh yeah, every time. Well, almost every time. It's been blue before, and sometimes it's brown.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
brown eye.
It's just a big brown eye sticking out of the flesh pit. Yeah.
Callie, did its brown eye blink at you?
Miles, I tried to tell a joke that, like my dad would tell, and Miles didn't laugh, so I didn't stay.
Is that what that was? We need to work on your setup. I'm sure
Really?
the punchline's right there, but we need to work on your setup.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about when we get home. It's gotta be more like. Did you hear the one about the Mexican magician?
No.
He pulled up a blanket and uno, dos, and poof, gone without a trace.
You're not allowed to tell
His-
jokes anymore.
That's a good one, youngin'.
Excuse me, Mr. Manda's telling us all the things. Do you have
Teddy,
candy?
just call me Teddy. What?
Teddy, do you have candy?
Now, you shouldn't be taking candy from strangers, little one. It's not safe. I hear they might put razor blades in it.
Well, no, but that's why I'm asking. Because if you're a stranger that has candy, then I would know that you're probably just saying stuff. But if you're a stranger and you don't have candy, then maybe you're okay.
Well, that's definitely one way to. Okay. Is anyone keeping an eye on this little girl?
Yeah, I'm making sure
I
she's
am.
steady.
That's good. That's good. Oh, did you get a chance to put in a name for the new oculus or the new growth? There's an earbud that's coming up out of the mystery flesh pit. It's just starting to grow.
Where do we
Got-
put in a name for it? Or who do you give a name to?
Well, it's at the visitor center. Did you all not stay and look around there's lots of good information at the visitor center.
No, we couldn't do that because there was somebody there causing problems. We had to leave.
Oh. Well, we'll have to see if anything comes of that. Youngin's not feeling safe up at the visitor center, but tell you what, since you missed out on that, I have something special. It'd be just great. You'll get a kick out of it.
The gantry's been swinging kind of slowly, kind of at a walking pace over the top of the flesh pit. You just had this fantastic view. You can see trucks that are like hosing down parts of the flesh pit, and they're scraping different areas of it. I mean, it looks like giving an elephant a bath if that elephant stretched, 10,000 square feet around. And as the gantry begins to reach its apex, you hear the whirring of gears, and there's this loud clank, and then instead of drifting laterally, it shifts and it starts to go down closer to the surface of the pit. And Teddy looks at you and says, "Yeah, we're getting ready to go through the pit entry orifice. It's the PEO is a special part of the pit. It's dilated to about 8 meters, and it's held open by 5 giant cement expanders. Yes.
Aided?
That means it's opened up. So,
calling someone who's opened up?
Yeah, that's what the word dilated means.
And this is at the bottom.
Well, if you look down, and he'll point through the glass floor of the gantry, and you will see below you that you are like slowly elevatoring down into this massive, like pinkish brown hole in the ground. There are giant pylons made of cement that are at 5 different points of the pit, kind of holding it open. There's this stream of liquid of some kind that's being poured and swirling around the outside of the pit entry, and the gondola's kind of elevatoring down. Yeah, we're heading down to the lower visitor center, which is right through there.
You said this is called the PEO.
Yeah, the pit entry orifice.
Who is naming these?
Well, sometimes things just get scientific names. I don't know, I guess they thought it sounded good.
Miles,
sounds
so
like-
funny.
It sounds like they let Miles name this thing.
They called it the Bail. And it's got a wide flared base at the bottom.
Well, I don't know what's so funny, youngin'.
It's a multilingual joke.
Oh,
My mom told me that pale means fart. And you just
Oh.
notice it's wider at the bottom.
uh-huh. Okay, well, I always like learning some different things. It's good to learn, isn't
You
it?
should tell more people it's called the PAO instead of saying the acronym. It rolls off the tongue easier.
All right, Payo. I'll do that. That's a good plan. I like giving these little tours.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, but I do have a trick for you. See, as we go down in the Payo, the light is going to dim, and when it does, here, you're gonna need these. And he reaches under the seats and hands each of you a headlamp. Just a band that has a flashlight on the front, and they're pretty good sized. In fact, it feels like there's probably like a C battery on either side of the thing. So this isn't a little LED thing. This is a honking flashlight for your foreheads. He hands each of you one and says, I've got a real funny trick. See, when we get down there, it's going to start to get dark. And, I know something not a lot of the other rangers know. You actually, and he, as you start to enter the pit entry orifice itself, he reaches down and he flips a switch over next to his seat, and these lights that were around the interior blink off. He said, okay, now listen, we're going to get sunlight for just a little bit longer. And when I say go, you flash your headlights on. You're going to see something fantastic.
All the lights go out. Callie goes like, and she reaches out and grabs Ida's hand. It's like she's like terrified.
Ida will absolutely grab her hand back, equally as terrified, but trying to look as cool as possible for Johnny.
Now, before the sunlight, before we pass the light line, you can see in the sunlight with all the lights off. If you look, he's gonna point to something. It looks kind of like if you stacked about 6 what are those? The big flat crabs with the blue blood. Horseshoe crabs. If you like stacked 6 horseshoe crabs on top of each other, overlapping, something skitters by along the wall, not too far away. That there's a copepod. They're scavengers through the flesh pit. They get rid of a lot of the detritus and the organic fall off. It's
Who? Detrius?
detritus. Yeah, it's like dead skin and stuff.
See a kid?
I love you, dear Oserex, but your sound gate keeps cutting you off because you hit a pitch that it can't hear.
Callie is very concerned that Detrius was a child.
Oh, okay.
No, detritus. It's like skin flakes and stuff.
Again?
Well, yeah, something has to. Otherwise, do you know how much detritus the mystery flesh pit flakes off in a day?
But
we scraped boatloads of it off the top.
Callie starts crying.
And then, you'll be fine. She'll be fine, won't she? And then over here, and the light is continuing to dim as you keep descending. You see something that looks like a barnacle the size of a beach ball. So, right there, that's a Sierra Maxima. The shells, they're real hard. If you don't bother them, they don't bother you. They're slower than molasses. You just walk the other way.
While we're all listening to this, John's taking really rough notes in his notebook of everything he's saying and trying to keep it all in his head.
As you descend further, the light fades even more.
He said, all right, everyone, here in just a few more feet, we're going to pass the light line. We're going to go through a bend in the pit entry. And when we do, the light will cut off. When we get there, I have a surprise for all of you. Have any of you ever heard of a spasm fit?
Is that like epilepsy? Because I got that.
Well, you might want to prepare yourself then.
It goes.
Do I close my eyes?
My cousin Dickie, he's 20. He sometimes calls me a spaz.
Well, I'm sure he has good reason to.
The darkness falls over the entire car. You can hear, without the distraction of seeing, you can hear the whirring of the gear, the occasional click, 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 and every once in a while, from outside. You hear Teddy go,
all right, on 3, I'm going to turn on the lights and turn on your headlights, and you're going to see something amazing. Everyone ready? 1, 2, 3.
He flips the lights on. The lights come on in the cabin. The exterior lights come on. All of you flip on your headlights, and there is a mass. There are copepods that skitter out like roaches trying to get away. There's Sierra Maximas that are like slowly crawling across the surface. You see these. It's almost like goo running down the walls of it, and everything just shoots in different directions.
Look at that! Look how many! You'll never be able to see this many with the lights on. They run away. Oh, look at that!
And all of a sudden, there is a, and the gantry shudders a little bit.
Here it is. See, we tickled him.
And the gantry shudders again, and then the entire gantry starts shaking violently back and forth. It comes to a full stop. You can see the walls on the pit entry orifice and the light rippling as the muscles are squeezing and pushing. And through all of it, there's just this, and it just keeps shaking and shaking.
It's like, isn't this great? You guys ever been on a ride like this before?
The gondola's just like swinging back and forth. You can feel it shudders. It hits the side of the pit entry wall. What do you all do during a spasm fit?
Callie has her eyes like she is eyes covered, just like terrified, like hunched down in a little ball with her eyes covered, like refusing to look at anything.
Do the windows lower in this thing?
You can reach out and try. Yeah, they're kind of like bus windows. They've got the 2 clips at the top, and you can lower them down.
Sick. Miles is gonna try to agitate the skin, so he takes out his inhaler, and as soon as the wall gets close, he's just gonna spray it with his inhaler.
You can see just in the light where the inhaler hits, you can see kind of that white frost that appears over the skin before it melts. It doesn't seem to do much to it. You can still see the muscle rippling. The entire gantry is shaking and shuddering. The other 3 of you, what are you doing?
These sounds into my sound repertoire. So it's more like a call and response for me, really. So when it I return with but more aggressive, to the point where, like, at one point Danny starts to actually gag a little bit and was like, like, sent it too hard.
Johnny
That's
is
what I'm doing.
holding on to a rail for dear life. He does not like roller coasters. He does not like wild rides that he does not control. So he is not enjoying any of this.
Ida is grasping onto Callie as if she is a stuffed animal or some sort of stuffy that she could just squeeze into oblivion. And probably, if there were lights and you could see her face, she would be completely pale, about to vomit again. But she is just holding on.
He is, Teddy's there going, okay, listen, these usually only last, in the background, this is, I mean, you're in an 8-meter wide throat that is heaving.
These only last a couple seconds. It should end soon.
10 seconds later,
Oh, don't worry, it's about over.
the gantry is shaking. It's banging against the sides of the walls more often. After about 30 seconds of this, like, Teddy's demeanor changes a little bit.
Like, all right, everyone, why don't you let's just grab something to hold on to? It should.
Keeps shaking. After about 45 seconds of this, Teddy is looking seriously concerned. He's like, all right, everyone, just
I just need all of you to take a breath. I just need no worries. Hold on. It should end soon.
And there is this shaking convulsion, and you hear a ting, ting, snap, as a cable lets loose, and the entire gantry drops about 20 feet at once. Catches, swings, bashes against the wall. One of the sides of the windows just shatters and sprays glass at all of you. Sprays across Teddy, sprays against each of you, and one of the Sierra Maximas, one of these big, like, beach ball sized barnacles, is sitting where that window was, and coming out of the top of it, its mouth, whatever you want to call it, is this flailing, feathery something that is just whipping around inside the edge of the gantry. You hear Teddy go, what do you all do?
Scream. Callie is screaming, desperately trying to keep a hold of her My Little Pony figurine and Miles's yellow stuffed elephant, but just screaming.
The man who is now gagging, is he being, like, accosted by the feathery appendage?
You turn to
coming
look
through
at
the
Teddy.
spink?
When you turn to look at Teddy, you see that some of the glass from the window has jabbed him in his stomach, and you can see a probably 4-inch wide piece of glass coming out of Teddy's stomach.
Escalates until there's genuine fear coming out of him.
A cacophony of escalation happens in this moment, as on the other side, Danny is also pointing, screaming,
Bunch of
and
kids
still in shorts, pointing.
Callie's eyes are still closed. She has not seen anything. She is just screaming.
Shit.
Is this appendage making its way to the shit? Well, fuck.
That was very good.
Is the feathery appendage making its way into the gondola?
So at the moment, it's on the gondola is kind of wedged against the back of the throat right now, and the barnacle with the feathery arm flailing about is in the back. All of you kind of down at the bottom, away from it. So you have some space. It's not coming in, but it almost seems lodged or something. So if you can picture it, you have a gondola tilted, like this, wedged in your throat. It's like if you didn't chew a chip and it got stuck in there. And then if, one of the polyps in your throat decided to attack the stuff on the chip, it happens all the time.
All the time. No big deal.
And then Ida, what are you doing in this moment of realization?
Ida, in a fit of panic, is going to attempt to snap a photo.
Okay.
I love it.
Go ahead and write down that you have a...
Shaking uncontrollably.
Go ahead and write down your photo, just so that you know what you have a photo of. You take a picture. Teddy is laying in the back of the gondola now.
Like, it's all right. It's all right. There's a...
And he points to underneath the Sierra Maxima.
There's a first aid kit. Let me just grab it.
And he starts to lean forward and goes... curls up and just lays his head back against the seat and passes out.
Johnny, you go for the first aid kit.
All right. There is a beach ball sized barnacle with a feathery arm flailing above it. How are you going to go for that first aid kit?
I'll take my helmet and chuck it to the other side to try and distract it.
All right. So that sounds like a charm to me. Trying to affect its emotions and its attention. Does that sound right to you?
Fair enough.
All right. Go ahead and roll charm against its... it would be its charm as it's trying to not be distracted, I suppose. It exploded.
Of course it did. And I got a 2.
You got a 2 and it got a 6. So I'm going to describe what happens. You throw your helmet to try and distract the copepod, and when you chuck the helmet, its feathery arm whips over and grabs it, and you can see these feathery appendages wrap around the helmet, and it just pulls it, and it tink, tink. It's like trying to pull it into its barnacle-y top, but it can't open enough, so it's just tinking the helmet against the side, and it just kind of drops it, and the helmet rolls down to your feet. What's someone else going to try?
We still have headlights and everything, right?
Yes, you do.
I'd like to focus the headlights so that it's a narrow beam instead of a wide one to see if that happens, and I'd like to focus it on the appendage. I noticed that everything was running away when we turned them on initially, so I'd like to focus the beam on the thing to see if it hates the light or something.
Okay, that's good. Why don't you go ahead and do brains to see if you know where to focus the light on a Sierra Maxima.
So.
And it will use its grit to resist.
Miles today. I got a 2.
A
Plus
2.
2 from chat as well.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use it now.
Not right now.
Oh,
It's
don't use
gonna
it.
suck.
So this thing rolled an 18.
Okay.
So you focus your headlight on it, and the little waving feathery appendage no longer seems concerned about that and is now kind of trying to stretch towards you in some way.
Shit.
And it feels like you have its attention. Everyone else. Essentially, everyone gets one action is kind of the way to think about it.
So Ida will attempt. So in her head, she's attempting to document what's happening, but also is probably in ultra panic mode. So she would do something that she's just used to doing in kind of fight or flight mode, and just kind of try to donkey kick it away from similar to how she probably donkey kicked Callie out of the car.
Okay. All right.
Just freaking out, losing her mind, she probably would just give it a good old heave-ho.
Now, are you going for power, which would be just a brawn kick and no finesse, or are you trying to kick with some skill, which would be fight?
Yeah, she's definitely not skilled. So probably just fight
Just
or
so
just brawn.
just brawn is raw strength. And it will use its grit to resist your brawn. And it beats you by a significant amount. You donkey kick forward to kick this thing, and when you kick it, it feels like you kicked a rock. Your foot immediately hurts. It doesn't move at all. Its appendage that was waving or stretching toward Miles is now like flipping back, trying to keep things away from itself again. Your foot's hurt, but it's okay.
It's going to turn to Johnny and go, "Are we allowed to cuss yet?"
I won't tell.
Oh, shit! And then she's going to, like, scramble panic back towards wherever Callie is.
Okay.
I would like to get a little reckless, which is
Sure.
one of my flaws here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna reach into my pack, grab another Capri Sun, pull that fucking straw off of it, and wield it like a dagger. And I'm gonna run up to this thing and I'm just gonna start stabbing as fast as I can.
Okay. So, do you want to do this just with raw power with brawn? Do you want some finesse with fight? Do you want to use your brains to think where to stab it? How are you going about this?
Brains? No, thank you.
Oh, I just thought I'd ask.
I will go brawn as I'm just not really paying much attention. I'm getting a little reckless, and all I'm thinking about is just like the cool kids at school when you would slam through your Capri Sun with a straw to like show your feat of strength.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. This is my lunch table. Let's fucking go.
All right, let's go for it. It'll use grit to resist you because that is what you'd resist, that raw power. And it rolled terribly.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. So you do swing your plastic straw in hand fist at this rock shelled barnacle. And you find somehow a weak part of the shell close to its lip. And as your fist comes down, oh, that plastic straw crinkles and does nothing. But just the strength of your fist, you hear as you break off a corner of its shell right near the opening. And this thing's, the little feathery arm pulls all the way back in and it snaps shut and it just kind of sits there.
So has Danny exposed a part of this thing?
Just the slightest bit. When it pulled its feather back in and closed its shell, there's just maybe a really small way into its soft innards.
Okay, yeah, Callie was in the corner just like screaming, but then like at some point she heard like the of like the camera and Ida taking pictures, so she did the classic like little kid this thing. So she's just in screaming, like holding her eyes like that. And as she sees everybody attacking it and Johnny can't get the first aid kit and the adult's like out for the count, Callie sees Danny make a run for it and punch and like kind of get a little bit, and Callie will close her eyes and like mid like screaming will scream for the honor of Grayskull and take her little My Little Pony, and she's gonna run over and try to jam it into where
Okay.
She's just opened an explosion.
You're gonna shove a My Little Pony into a barnacle.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Now, are you picturing using fight for this? Finesse, which would be
Absolutely.
fight. Okay, so you roll.
Absolutely fight. Like I'm trying to like get this precise point.
Now, this thing is going to attempt to. So it's not trying to. It's just trying to straight resist right now. Its shell is closing. That's going to be grit.
Okay.
Still sound good?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
scared. I'm gonna add 1.
That is a natural 1.
I got a 2.
2 is enough. This Sierra Maxima has its shell closed, but it's used to when it's shell closed, it's nice and safe. And when you shove that plastic My Little Pony in, you hear a and it starts like slowly skittering away from you.
Okay.
It's not making great speed, but as it moves, part of the gantry was lodged on it. And as it moves off, it passes through the broken window that it broke, and the gantry, which was stuck to it, swings the other way. Slams into the far side, and there is this messy, wet as it bursts through the wall of the pit entry orifice. Teddy opens his eyes a little bit. He's like,
everything okay?
No, Teddy. Everything's not okay. I cussed, and I think a My Little Pony just killed that thing.
I gotta get this.
and like Teddy
You're
grabs
bleeding.
a hold of this piece of glass and
Leave it! Leave it!
and he
Leave
pulls it
No!
out.
Shit.
Yes.
We need.
It starts just bleeding profusely.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
I'm gonna-
Oh shit!
I'm gonna go shove a Capri Sun over the top of it and like just look around. Who has tape? Who has tape?
Oh,
And bubblegum. She'll reach into her fanny patch and start furiously chewing bubblegum.
There is another metallic snap, and the gantry slides. You see the remaining cable in your headlamps drop off the side, and as far as you can tell, all the cables holding this thing have fallen, and it starts sliding, cutting through the side of the throat of the pit entry orifice. Teddy looks around and goes,
Oh, this isn't. If it starts,
and you hear in the distance a
you need to get out. You need to get out.
and he reaches and pulls an emergency window open and points down this dark hole that you tore in the side of the pit entry orifice.
Into the abscess. Go.
I book it. Fuck this place. I want to see what's next.
Johnny shoves the first aid kit into.
You're going to try and go to the far end that's hanging over the hold to try and get the first aid kit again?
Yeah, still gonna need it.
All right. I need everyone aboard to roll a flight check, which is everyone except for our icky one that took off.
So +2 for sure. Whew.
11.
An 11, 7,
I got total of 6.
and then
I have not rolled anything high at all.
You listen, Rob, I'm gonna need you to stop using the electronic dice rollers forever because this is the exact same thing that happened in Stargate. You need to quit using them.
This is also why Noir got to whoop your ass in like Darkest Night. Yep. You can't use this shit.
Hates me.
as Johnny starts to run to grab the first aid kit, the entire gantry shifts that direction. The other three of you in there dive out through that window, no problem. And Johnny, just before you reach that first aid kit, you feel an arm on your shoulder. It says, "What are you doing?" And you feel yourself get pulled back and flung through the emergency exit. And as you do, you splash, and all of you turn around to see that gantry that has already been started to shift, tilt, and fall. It disappears down the pit entry.
Shit.
Johnny, you are laying in a puddle of whitish yellow pus. And as you all look around, this entire abscess is like a cavern that's dripping. The smell is foul.
Johnny's not even thinking about that. He just,
And I. Oh, you think about it.
he feels like he just failed the old man. So he's just looking down the hole, hoping he see him climb up or something.
You go over to the hole and you look down, and as you look down that pit entry orifice, your headlamp shines as far as it can, and there's nothing. You look up and you see the dangling remains of broken cables not too far above, but below is darkness.
Johnny? Johnny, what do we do now, Johnny?
Johnny looks up and looks at the rest of the group, looks at the way forward, and he says, "We're gonna get out of here. All right." Nothing, guys?
Is there an option B?
Looks at the fluid on the ground and says, we can see if this digestion fluid.
Miles puts his helmet on and starts walking.
There is a as the entire pit entry begins convulsing again.
Hearing digestive fluid, I'm going to see how this fluid impacts my senses of both touch and taste.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna put it in my mouth.
Okay.
No.
The little bun. That's what sells it
In
for
my
me.
mouth.
Johnny
So-
wants to do it. He's saying no, don't do it. No.
So as the material around here, as you start to lift it closer to your face, the smell gets worse the closer it gets. I mean, this is rotten. It's a little warm. Very. God, I'm gonna Google something real quick and clear my search history after.
Oh
What?
no.
Does taste
A can
Salt?
of vanilla Coke is popped and is in the cardboard and it's soaked to the cardboard and you put that cardboard in your mouth,
so
but it's been sitting in the sun all day.
just
That is
a
not a referential taste.
just a little bit. It's salty and metallic, a little bit kind of like sour, like very, very rotten. Very, very rotten fruit.
Tastes like nickels.
The
Not gonna say
convulsion, the spasms from inside start again, and the floor beneath you begins to ripple from them, and all of you just start shaking. I need a grit check from everyone.
Nope, it's not gonna go well.
Scayos.
It's not gonna go well.
What the fuck? No. A +2 doesn't help.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll a
So, Miles, and did you use that +2 or not,
earlier, yes.
Icky? Oh, I know you did.
I did use the +2.
Okay. So, the three of you then, the 5, 5, and 2, drop to the ground into a puddle of just nasty goo and start sliding toward the pit entry. The other two keep
Callie-
your ground.
Kelly is
sorry, I
holding
wanted
Miles.
to use the +2. So it would be 7 total. I don't know if that
Then
makes
you're
a
fine.
difference.
Okay, I thought
okay.
you're okay then.
Kelly
No, I
is
forgot that.
holding Miles's stuffed elephant above her, like out of the stuff, trying really hard to not let it get all gross. Like the two toys are like extended in her hands as she's screaming, sliding down this stuff.
What do your other three do? Those two start sliding toward the pit entry.
Uh, well, I'm gonna try and get them back on their feet and grab them by their arms or their hands and say, "Come on, we gotta go."
Sure. This time it's not hard. You grab them, pick them up, and those convulsions start to increase that. Which direction you going?
How many directions we got?
Straight forward, away from the pit.
Yeah, we're not gonna jump in the pit. Let's just head down the
Same.
dark, forward.
You start making your way through this abscess, and it is foul and it stinks. And after a few hundred feet, one of you, let's see who. 1, 2, 3. Ida, you notice something unusual as you're trying to make your way out of here. You pause for a moment, whether it's to catch your breath or you thought you saw something. And when you look up, at first, what seems to be just another one of those creamy drips seems to be forming on the ceiling to drop. But this one, it catches your attention because it's more of a pinkish cream than yellowish. And as you start to move out of the way, what catches your attention is there's these two little nubs on it that appear. And you could swear that two eyes rise to the surface bloop, bloop, to look at you. This drip starts to grow. It's about the size of your fist at this point, and each start blinking. A lipless mouth seems to like grin a little bit. There's these two little buds that come out on either side of the eyes, and little nubs end up on the ends of them. And this fat little body finishes escaping from some weird hole in the ceiling. And as it starts to fall towards you, you could swear you hear something go from its fat little mouth as it drops your direction. What do you do, Ida?
I lost you, HP. I did not hear the sound
Yeah.
effect. It was
Yeah.
dead silent. I saw your mouth move, and I need to know what sound it made.
It sounded like wee.
No.
Ida will say immediately nothing to anybody and move as close to wherever it looks like it's about to land.
It falls, and you're not going to try and catch it. You just want to be close to where it lands.
Correct.
Okay. It falls, and as it falls, you watch it, and its two little eyes seem to look at you the whole way. And as it passes by you, you can like see them rotate through its pink little gooey body to keep locked on you. And when it hits the ground, it kind of, and then two little eyes looking up at you, and then reforms to about a fist-sized little ball of pink goo with two little nubs on the top, two little eyes, and it just like starts scooting towards your foot.
Ida is going to whisper to Callie, Callie, I think I found this body's version, this pit's version of a My Little Pony. Come here and look at this, but don't tell
What?
anybody. No, shh, stop, you're being really loud.
Allie's gonna like, again, she's just holding the two little toys like up under her chin and is gonna look around. What are you talking about?
Ida is definitely like leaning down or like kind of like crouching down to get as close as possible.
This little pink goo thing will crawl towards you.
I don't
She's
think
going.
that thing's sanitary.
It's fine. Wait, can I touch you or will you kill me? Because so far this entire time that we've been down here, we've almost died a couple times.
Miles is gonna run up and like soccer punt that thing as far away from Ida.
Just one second.
As Miles runs up to punt it, I'm going to come in and try to take out Miles' legs. I am guarding this thing with my life.
Miles
Tina will
turns.
also grab for it. If it doesn't answer, she will lift it up into her arms.
As soon as Miles makes a quick movement toward it, its eyes like dart over to the direction that he's coming from. It darts back to you and like squelches quicker along the ground with its two little nubs up in the air.
No.
Are you, so you're reaching down toward it?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely going to protect it, or attempt to protect it.
So
If that involves getting punted by Miles, then she'll just deal with it.
at the exact moment that Danny collides with Miles to get him knocked out of the way, it just enough to knock him off his path. This little pink goo wraps its two little nubs around your thumbs and just like goops into your hands, and its two little eyes look up at you and it grins. And that is where we are going to stop for this evening.
You're fucked, Chrissy. You're fucked.
No.
You're one of
You
these
have-
now.
Squelched quicker at you. It's squelched.
Well, quicker.
You're one
Ah.
of it now, Chrissy.
You have
Green
discovered
drips.
You
a,
gotta morph.
a creature called a lipoid.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Does it look like more from Treasure Planet?
It's essentially
it?
more from Treasure Planet.
Oh,
Okay.
God
Yeah.
bless.
I looked for
Movie made me
gifts.
gay.
I looked for so many gifts that would work, and none of them. I felt like it would just be too on the nose, really. But yes,
I look
rather
for
than
an opening with
flying-
teeth and jump into it.
I am shocked I'm in a room where 3 people know what Treasure Planet is.
do you know what kind of people you hang out with?
We're fucking
Plan for the
nerds.
win.
So, this lipoid is going to be your powered character to join you in your journey.
Oh
So-
Oh my god, I love him.
I'm
No.
going to give you some information that's going to be on your shared document on the next page. Some of it you're not going to know yet, which is fine. And some of it you probably are watching me delete right now, which is awesome. The other thing that powered characters have is they have what are called aspects. So the player that controls its oddly cute aspect is going to be Ida. Essentially, if you can think of a situation in which the odd cuteness of this would be helpful, you may take control of your powered little lipoid, use its psychic energy, and do the oddly cute, whatever that means. But we need everyone to have a power from this. So, Danny, no, we won't go straight to Danny. We will skip up to Cassie. Cassie, roll me a D10.
D10. That is an 8.
All right. And Cassie, as you are kind of introducing yourself to this thing, we'll just say, despite your better judgment, it somehow touches you. And when it does, you feel this little compulsion to give it a snack. You don't know where it came from, but you didn't have that feeling at all until you touched it. You see, lipoids can control things by touch. So Cassie, you control
Callie.
that
It's Callie.
Callie, I'm sorry. I'm
You're
sorry.
okay.
Callie. I knew a Cassie, I've never known a Callie, and that's what my brain did.
That's okay.
So, Callie, you gain that aspect of it. If there is a way that using the lipoid would be helpful by it controlling something by touch, you would take over the lipoid. Miles, roll me a d10.
Three.
2, 3. Miles, as you pick yourself up from being tackled and make your way over to it, so far with everyone else, it has given these lovey eyes, this cute little stupid lipless grin, as soon as it looks at you, instead of being all soft and fluffy and bubbly, all of its goo, its skin, goes spiky, and it gets a little upset. What Miles knows about this thing is that it is temperamental. It can switch from cuddly to angry and scary very quickly. So if that would be helpful, that's when you would take over the Lipoid. Danny, roll me a d10.
Trying to remember what that looks like. 10.
10. Danny, as you make your way up to it, it starts to go from this just amorphous little gooey blob, and it changes shape a bit, and the texture on it changes, and it looks like the bun on the side of your head as it takes that shape. What you know is that it can mimic the form of something. So if that would be helpful in any way, that is what Danny would then have control over. And Johnny, last D10 roll and we will wrap up for the evening.
I rolled an 8.
Roll again. We've rolled that one already.
Oh, okay. 6.
And Johnny, as you know a few things about creatures, you remember something about lipoids. Their body is purely liquid. It can alter its shape to fit through any space. So if that would be helpful, that's where you take control. This powered character is a safe way for you to deal with dangers in the mystery flesh pit. And yes, no one wants to lose poor Gooey here, but, it might be better than sending someone else into imminent danger. They're happy to help. They are cute. They are lovey. They are your friend. Right now, they're about the size of an adult's closed fist. Not particularly large. But you think this could be the beginning of something very interesting. As the 5 of you, 6 now, scan this dripping abscess and look into the darkness beyond, you can't help but wonder what might come next. That and, well, if anyone's looking for you, well, how do you get out? Well, will there be snacks? That's what we will have to find out next time, whenever that next time may be. For now, that's it. Thank you for joining us for our first adventure into Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. We are going to wrap up right here at 11:30, but I do want to take just a very brief time because it's a habit. Robotic, you good for just a couple seconds?
Yeah.
All right. I always open up any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or qualms from either the players or the chat. So if you have anything you would like to bring up, how things went, things that went well, things that went not well, things that could go better, now is a great time to bring that up so that we'll know for next time when we return to see if you all make it out the mystery flesh pit that you made it into.
I loved everything about it. I would do anything for Danny, that's all.
Yeah. Me too.
Bodily functions and everything at the expected levels?
More! I love squelches quicker. That was a really defining statement tonight. Brought a lot of joy to my heart.
Yeah. Could also do more.
So I think the bar has been set very high for this group.
Would be a lot easier to be grossed out if I weren't finding everything so hilarious. So
Well,
if
see, the
phrases
goal...
like creamy drips
Yep.
could be like replaced
Yeah,
with something
man,
more
that
horrific.
struck something in the
Yeah,
table.
you
So
were
the
talking
goal-
directly to me at that moment, and I had to not look at the screen because if I looked at Bright, I was going to lose it.
Yeah,
So
I
the-
made a mistake of looking at Bright, and I had to go on mute.
the goal is not so much like just to gross out. It's to kind of just have fun with the entire.
Oh, that's happening.
So I'm aiming not for the trying to like. I am under. We've been in chat together. I'm under no impressions that I'll be able to gross out probably anyone here in a tangible way, and that's fine because it's just kind of for the fun icky factor.
That's fair. Talk about members of
Well,
our
like the
gang.
mod said, we're a bunch of children, so
Yes, we are a bunch of children. But we're children anyway, so it's worked out great. So that's my goals from the GM side of things. That's my goal. It's to kind of just have fun with the tongue in cheekness of all of this. I try not to walk into all of them exactly. I mean, but other times it's fun too. Any other thoughts or anything before we close for the evening? Is everyone pleased with the cutoff positioning and where everything's at?
Yes.
You guys, I'm so glad we're doing another session. I could have
Me
played this
too.
for like 17 hours straight.
So that is us for this evening. We are going to do a sign off and keep your eyes open for the second half of Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. We made it in. Now we've got to make it out. It's what the sign says. Whatever you take in with you, you have to take out with you. Just like good park visitors, that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's go around the circle. I don't remember. We will start with robotic, and then in overlay order, it'll be robotic, and then Osara X, and then Bright, and then Chrissy, and then Corndog. So robotic, say goodbye.
robotic gentleman. I was playing our teenage leader who's way over his head, but hopefully he's gonna get these kids out of here in one piece.
Fantastic, Osara.
Hi, I'm Osara Franco. I played Callie the Meek. If you like my face and the words I say sometimes, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the places at Osara Franco. I do a variety of TTRPG content here on Neon Lights Roleplay and across several other amazing communities. The next time you can see me doing the thing is going to be next Wednesday over at Nat20 for Against the Tides, where I play Kelby Spark Spinner. A very different vibe from this, and yet somewhat the same. It's very good, so come check it out. Also, I'm gonna plug, I am running an Apocalypse World game. Bright and Chrissy will be joining me in my cast over at Nat20 for Dirt, which is the name of the campaign. That kicks off August 14th? Yes, that day. So come check it out and keep an eye on social medias as we start teasing some of the incredible looks that we're putting together for it. It's gonna be pretty sick. I'm pretty excited. Anyways, happy to be here on Neon Lights. It's the best, and I'm passing it on over to Bright.
Hi everybody, my name is Bright. You can find me on all forms of social media at Bright Dystopia. Aside from the one-shots here at Neon Roleplay, I will be on Nat20 for the rest of my TTRPG content. As Sarah mentioned, I will be there for Against the Tides, the Dirt one-shot. I pretty much do everything that Sarah tells me to do. She drags me...
Is Bird a one-shot?
It's not a one-shot, it's a series, but also, Bright, don't you have something on your channel?
We'll get into that. As payback is starting in August, I will be making Sarah do a show on my channel over at Bright Dystopia. We're going to be starting the Reclaimers episodes starting August 20th, midday Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, you can catch me on my channel every Sunday and Monday, just being a fool on the internet. So if you want to see that, come on and hang out. Also, pay attention to the social media on Twitter. We're going to be doing a part 3 to the Gert Gang Tackles Baldur's Gate. That's probably going to keep going until we beat the game because we're having too much fun. But if you want a good cause to donate to and some good people to watch play a game, come visit us. We play over on the Noir Enigmas channel whenever you can. But again, pay close attention to Twitter for when that happens. Chrissy, take it.
Yeah. What do you mean? No. Yeah, hi, I'm Christy Kurtz. I played Ida the Weird. where else can you find me? Right now, I think here for this part 1 and part 2. And then we also have All Hail the Queen, which is a Tyranny of Dragons campaign that's now being hosted over on Nat 20. So that's exciting. And then also I will be in Dirt. I will also be in some other things. I'm also running a game of Lighthearted on +1 EXP on the 15th, Monday the 15th. So you can check that out. It's a fun little kind of like Harry Potter-esque RPG minus turfs. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's where you can find me all over the internet at Chrissy Crits and Corn Dog.
Hello, it's me, Corn Dog McGraw. You can catch me here, not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, where we play some Digimon. You can see these hands again if you would like. Otherwise, we'll be on Nat 20 the Thursday after that, playing the Tiamat campaign. All Hail the Queen. There we go. Had to find it again. Yeah, find me on the internet at Corn Dog McGraw or Coach Corn Dog, depending on what you're into. Brad.
Perfect. Sorry. That has been us. Thank you for joining us. I am the last Hit Point Hero. The next time that Neon Lights is live will be Kindred of Fog City on Monday, so come back to check that out. I will share the two I guess announcements. This is going to happen again. We don't know when, but it has to happen again. So keep your eyes open for that. And also, I'm fine saying it here. This is probably a good place to say it. Cold Hands, Warm Hearts, the Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign that I have been running is coming to Neon Lights Roleplay in the near future. So we are going to be repicking that back up in order to finish off our adventure into Icewind Dale and joining the fantastic Neon Lights Roleplay community. Such a welcoming, fantastic community. I thank you so much for coming to us with open arms as a great diaspora took place, and you guys are great and appreciate it a lot. So thank you from me and for hosting this, and I appreciate it. Thank you. After that, Gen Con. If you would like to find me at Gen Con, you can. I will be running Midnight, the RPG. So if you want to see my face in person, you can hunt me down. I will be, I think Cascade Games is the official runner of Midnight RPG. So I will be doing that very interesting system based on 5e. So I've got that all set and planned. Other people will be at Gen Con. Just look around and scream hands and see who comes running and how they come running at you. That's the test. I think that is the extent of all the announcements. Boss Man, is there anything else to include with any of that? If that's the case, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you again. And until we do, there is one rule. Be